Hey everybody, it's Paul from Alexandria Knife Sharpening and Laser Engraving. So Vevor, the company that makes the 1x30, or one of the companies that makes the 1x30 that we like, reached out to me and asked me if there was anything I was interested in reviewing for them. So I looked through their very extensive catalog of tools, and when I say extensive, I am not kidding. It's like 20, 30,000 things they have. They have lots and lots of tools. I came across something that interested me a lot, and that was a magnetic tumbler, which is used to polish things. Recently, I've been getting some requests for custom-made coins. Now, I don't do a whole lot of these, but I have been getting more and more requests for them. The main reason I don't do a ton of them is because I don't have a super powerful fiber laser. My most powerful fiber laser is a 20-watt. And if you're really going to do a lot of coin production, having a very powerful fiber laser is very helpful because it cuts down the time. So when we're talking time on making a coin, I'll give you some examples. Some of the coins I've made have literally taken 12 hours of laser time, which is a long time. I mean, you're basically starting it, going to bed, and waking up in the morning, and the thing is still going. The other thing that a lot of people don't know is sometimes these coins, when they come off the laser, are not like they just came from the mint. They actually need polishing and cleaning to really make that coin beautiful again. And that's why I wanted to get this magnetic tumbler. Now, I also want you to know that its only use is not just to clean coins. It can be used to clean jewelry. It can be used to clean small pieces of hardware. If you have rust on screws, nuts, bolts, washers, and springs, things that need cleaning, you can use a magnetic tumbler. It can be used for polishing all kinds of jewelry. One of the interesting things with a magnetic tumbler is the media that you put in it. They're actually needles or pins, and depending on the size of those pins, you can use it to polish smaller and more detailed stuff, or really teeny tiny stuff. So the pins come in different sizes. Some of them are super tiny and others are a lot larger. And you can even mix media in your own combinations to get a broader range of polishing effect across an item that maybe has little teeny tiny intricate detailed areas and also big flat areas that need to be polished. You can also use ball media. That looks like shotgun shot or little BBs. It just happens to be stainless steel so that it doesn't rust, and that can be used for polishing larger items that have a lot of flat area. You're just not going to get the penetration that you get from the little needle size media. Now, one thing you will want to pick up to go with your magnetic tumbler is burnishing fluid. So what is burnishing fluid? It's basically the lubricating process. So you want there to be some lubrication to protect the metal parts and protect your pins that you're using. And depending on what you're doing, there are different types of fluids. So if you have really dirty, greasy parts, they make specific burnishing compounds for that have degreasers in them. It also helps suspend the debris that comes off to keep it from re-adhering to what it is that you're polishing. It reduces friction. It also reduces foaming and prevents your pins from rusting. All good things, and all the reason you want to use some form of burnishing compound. Also, keep in mind, read the bottle. The one I had, even though it's biodegradable and very safe, does recommend wearing gloves when you're using it because it will dry your skin out. Now, can you do it without it? You sure can. You can run it in just plain water. Just know your media will wear out sooner, and you won't have any anti-corrosives in there to protect your media from staining. So now I had my few coins ready to go. They were all off the lasers. I had them in all different stages of needing cleaning. Some only needed a medium amount of cleaning. Some were really dark and burned, and others needed just a minor amount of cleaning. Here's the first item I wanted to do. So this was a coin I made for my favorite YouTube channel, which is Area 52. It's all things UFO stuff, which is one of the things I love to watch for entertainment. And I made a couple different coins in honor of Area 52. The next coin is a AI drawing of Lacerta. Lacerta is a female reptilian who apparently gave an interview to a reporter many years ago about the reptilian race and how they're here on Earth, their interactions with humans and what they think about humans. And it's a very entertaining thing to listen to, but it's also really interesting to see the stuff that she said because it's, I think, close to 30 years old. And a lot of the things that she said are really interesting if you're into ufology today. Very fun, worth checking out. Check out the Lacerta files on Area 52. So the machine will run for 10 minutes in one direction, and then it stops, and it will automatically switch the other direction. It has some very big vents on the side to keep the heat down, because I'm sure with that big giant magnet in there spinning, it does create some heat. And it really runs nice and quiet. I'll give you a little taste here of the sound. Right, it's all finished. You can see the coin down here. I told you it would foam up like that. Out of here, it's going to look like it just came from the mint. But look how beautiful that is, all polished up now. And show you the other side. Look at that. Does a really nice job. All right, so let's test a few more things. I got a really deep burned in engraving into this stainless steel business card. I have an old college ring that doesn't have a stone in it, but I'd like to see how it does on this gold. And I have an old gold wedding ring here that I'd like to polish up and see if it does a nice job polishing it up. And let me flip it around and show you guys this stuff so you can see what it looks like up close. So all that dark you see there, that's actually charring. So we'll see how that does cleaning that up. The ring, you can see there's lots of scratches. Lots of scratches. So we'll see if that does a nice job of polishing this up. Here's the old college ring that's missing a stone. And I'm thinking of throwing this in there, but I might want to suspend it. A while back, I did a deep engraving of a Buddha on this kind of a knockoff buck knife. But you can see it really, I wasn't able to clean real well in there. And I remember being annoyed, like, well, how am I going to clean that out in there? Might be an interesting way to also clean the inside of a pocket knife. But we'll see. I'm either going to suspend it or just throw the whole thing in. We'll see what happens. Okay, just ended a 20-minute cycle. It does actually heat the fluid up some too. It's interesting from that magnet move-in. It definitely must create some heat because it gets warm in there. So let's see what we got with the things we threw in here. Okay, so here is the card, the stainless steel business card. And I'm going to, wow, I'm going to rinse it off. I can already see it looks entirely different. It cleaned off all of that burnt material. Wow. Look at this, guys. You're going to be amazed. Look at this. Can you see that? All the burnt stuff is gone. That, there we go. There's a nice view for you. That's impressive. Wow. That would have taken a lot of scrubbing by hand. And the stainless looks great. It kind of gave it a really beautiful, nice, even polishing, which that was my other concern. I wasn't sure, you know, what it would look like. Because when you think about lots of little things, you almost think hitting it, you almost think it would make a dent, but it didn't. It's just a beautiful, polished piece of stainless now with that engraving in there. Wow, that is, I am impressed. All right, let's grab another thing. I threw a bunch of stuff in here. Let's see. All right, so we have the ring. Okay, here's this was my father's college ring. The stone fell out of it. Some water. Now, this might look worn to you, but this thing was completely weathered and worn to begin with from him just wearing it. He wore this all the time. even after the stone fell out. He refused to pay to have a stone put in it. He went to LaSalle University. This is his college ring. That gold wedding ring was also my dad's. Oh, again, beautiful. And that also looks really nice. I mean, it cleaned up fantastic. And you could just, I would just run another session on it. I think you could get every little mark out of that. That thing is beautiful. And look inside, you could barely read the engravings before because they were probably filled with stuff. Now I can see 14K and I can see LDS, which is Louis D. Seymour. It's the date of their wedding, 9/24/55. I'm impressed so far. That's really cool. What else did I throw in here? Okay. Here is my lizard coin I told you guys about in the beginning. Now, I really want you guys to see, because this is impressive in two ways. So one is the ability that this thing polished this and cleaned it up. But the other is what this laser, my laser was capable to do, that com marker laser. Let me see if I can get you a good picture here. I'm going to zoom in here. I want you to see the scales. So that's, remember, this is a reptilian female. Look at the scales on her face. It cleaned all those little scales out. That is amazing. And I have some even tinier pins coming that I think could even polish this even more. I don't have the smallest pins available just yet. So there's, I think they're 0.2s. I'm going to get some of those because I definitely want to try those on some of these items, but really great. Oh, I think I threw an old coin in here halfway through. Let's see if I can find that coin. Ah, here it is. Holy cow. Yeah, this one went in at half the time, so it had already, so this was only about 10 minutes. It's an old foreign coin. Nothing fancy. I probably wouldn't, you know, I'm not a coin collector, but I had a couple things here. They're probably people kept from trips. My parents were big travelers. Yeah, I couldn't tell you where that's from. There's nothing. I don't see any indication of what this is or where it's from. But this was completely brown. All right, I'm going to show you another one. So I got another round of things I want to throw in here just for fun. So this will be, look at this. And like I said, if you're a coin, you know, if you're collecting, I wouldn't throw an expensive coin in here because I believe it can hurt the value. I'm not a coin collector. But this is just like, this is something my dad kept. And this is from the National Jamboree for Boy Scouts in 1964. Yeah, I'd like to clean this up just so it looks better. You know, this isn't something I'm keeping for, it's not a gold ingot or anything, but let's see what this can do with that. All right, so that's in there. This could be fun. Oh yeah, this will give us a good idea of a part. So this is a part for a thing that goes in a skimmer, and it wasn't spinning real well anymore. It's got tons of tiny little threads, and it's actually got a little rust on it, even though it was stainless steel. So I wanted to see, let's see if I can get this off. It sticks pretty hard sometimes in spots. So if I can get this off, we'll throw both pieces in there and see what see if we can clean this up here. So let's see if we can get that rust off of there and clean these threads up. And also have some rust in there. Let's see what it can do with that. Okay, let's do another round. Oh, one thing I will tell you, it's considerably hotter in here. So 2 20-minute back-to-back sessions definitely makes the fluid quite warm. Yeah, so that magnet's really, that thing is really spinning for sure. Okay, here is our part. I did forget to spin the threads. I know I did that. So it is a lot cleaner. Oh, and it's spinning way better. Look at that. Yeah, it is. It's like free spinning. That's very cool. There's still a little stuff in here, but definitely another session on that would probably clean that perfectly. And let's see what else we got in here. Oh, we threw that Boy Scout coin in from 1964. There we go. Oh yeah, look at this. So you can definitely still see some of the patinaing in there. It polished a lot of it. If we wanted it totally clean, I'm sure we could just do one more session. So there's still, we can see some points and spots in here where it didn't get everything. And I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll just throw this back in. I'll give it another 10 minutes on that without any other big parts in there. You know, it was flat down, so I don't know if that was also part of the problem. Maybe it wasn't getting hit as much as the top was. All right, it just ended. I was cleaning up this shoe knife. Let's see. All right, it just finished. It's second round. It's interesting. I see black stuff floating up here. Ooh, that is warm. Yeah, that gets hot. So when you run multiple sessions, do know that too. Do take note that, I mean, it's not so hot I can't put my hand in there, but it's, I'd bet it's, probably 120 degrees. Oh, wow, look at that. Put the coin in the light. As I said, yeah, just a little bit more in there and there. And I'm sure I could totally get that last little bit with like some Flitz polish or something, but this coin was from 1964. So that's a lot of years of dirt on that Boy Scout National Jamboree coin. Very cool. All right, so let's do another test. I want to do the knife. I really do. So I want to see what happens if we throw this entire, this is not expensive, it's a JP kind of a buck knife 110, I think, knockoff. So I'm curious to see what happens if we throw the entire thing in. I'd like to see if it cleans out that inside. I really want to see if we can polish up this. So this Buddha down here that you can see looks very dark. When I did this 3D embossing engraving on there, I had a heck of a time trying to clean it up afterwards. So I'm really curious to see. So yeah, let's just throw it in. So I'm going to leave it partially opened so I can fit it in here completely. Yeah, it's in there. All right, let's see what happens. Why not? Let's see what a whole knife does in there. What happened with our little old buck knife knockoff? Wow, holy cow. Do you guys see that? Look at that. Let me just get off the media. So we got some of our magnetic media sticking to it. It's still, the knife's still a little magnetized. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Wow. I couldn't polish this that good by hand for sure. Wow. This is making me want one of these things in a long tube. Holy moly. All right, let me get all these little needles off. Try and keep them in here. Ah, here, this will work. A little brush. Don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. So the wood will definitely need, I think, a little refinishing. Okay, so using my head, I decided, hey, what's going to be the best way to get any little pins out of there? And what I decided to do was just go down to my floor and I tapped the knife lightly on there and the pins all started falling out. You can see they fell onto my on-off magnet here, and then I can just come up here and drop them right back in with everything else. And this is also a little tip for you. I found when you want to go clean this out and wash it out, you don't want all the little pins obviously washing down your sink. You want to keep them as best you can in the bottom of your container. Use a rare earth magnet and kind of put that down there and collect them all in kind of one spot, and then you can go and flush this out. But by putting a little magnet or even a couple magnets down here, it will hold your material in place and make it a lot easier for you to clean your bowl out. The first couple times I did it, I was afraid I was going to wash all the media away. And they do have a couple little holes in here. You can strain it and leave the lid on. That's another thing that you could do. But I found it easier just to kind of fill it and let it kind of roll out free flowing. And just taking a couple, 2 or 3 rare earth magnets, snapping them on the bottom holds all that media in. So that's a little trick I would do there. Let me just show you. Look how great this came out. Look at this. They just look really good. And remember how dirty that was? We couldn't even see Buddha was in there. Look at it. It's all cleaned out. And I was like wanting to do a nice 3D engraving on some of these things, but I was like, oh, it's going to be such a nightmare to clean in there. It was the other reason why I didn't do it. But now with that, I'm sure you can definitely do a really nice 3D etching inside of that knife. And I even think it wouldn't be a bad idea of maybe even suspending this. So that's something I could build to attach to this and just drop the part that I need cleaned in there without putting the whole knife in there. But in all honesty, it did a really nice job of stripping the wood clean, and I can put a new finish right on there. It looks like it's perfectly sanded. Like, it's beautiful. Look at that. Look how great the wood came out. It totally needs to be retreated. Don't get me wrong. This needs linseed oil or something put on there. I'm going to let this dry well overnight. But look at those pins. I mean, every part of this came out beautiful. And even the stainless, and I never loved this knife because, you know, guys know I'm not a fan of mirrored knives. But look how nice that polished up. Yeah, it's pretty dull. It definitely needs a resharpening, but hey, that's pretty easy to do in my shop. Ah, and that eagle looks so much better now that it's cleaned out. All right, so there it is, guys. And I'm sure if you put your minds to it, you could probably even come up with a ton more things that you could use the KT185 magnetic tumbler. So very cool. I think the one thing I think I'm gonna look for, I would really love to see a tall one of these, because it would be fun to put like a kitchen knife or something in there that really needed some cleaning up, or, you know, bigger knives. After seeing what it did with this pocket knife, I think what surprises me the most is actually the wood. It stripped that right off of there. Almost like I sanded it. But, you know, I mean, think about it. If I had to sand this and be concerned about hitting the brass, that would be hard to do. But this thing, it just polished it all at one time, like the whole thing. That's pretty cool. Okay, so here's my little tip here. You'll see underneath I threw a couple rare earth magnets to hold all my media down, so that when I clean it, I don't have to worry about it all spilling out and going down the drain. So I just like to dilute it a bit and then just start pouring it. You'll see I'm not losing all of my pins this way. They're all staying right there in the bottom. And I can kind of get in there and flush them out. You don't want to leave them sitting in there if you want to keep using them, which is a good idea. They will last you a long time if you just care for them properly. And this little magnet trick is the very best way I found to get all the crud out. And then clean this up. And doing a little dish detergent also, especially if there's any grease and stuff, is also a good idea. You can see all that black stuff still coming out, like green and black and stuff from the brass and all those coins. I'll just swirl that around. And I'll just keep doing this little flush on it until I see that it's running clean. I like Dawn Power Wash. You don't need a ton. See, I sprayed a little bit in there. And this too helps any greasy stuff get out of there, keeps the container clean. I'm going to put my phone down so I can use both hands. I want to swirl it around a little bit. Sorry, I don't have a tripod in here in the kitchen where I'm cleaning. You might see a little dirt ring too. It's not uncommon on the plexiglass container. The one thing I found works well on that is a Mr. Clean sponge. I just wiped it. You can see all that stuff comes off real nice with a Mr. Clean sponge. And then just dry it out best you can. You can dump them on a paper towel, or if you get it really well dry, you can blow it with a heat gun, a hairdryer. All those will keep them in pretty good shape. If you're using it the next day, you probably don't have to worry about it too much. But if you think it's going to be a while before you use it again, or days, you might want to just make sure they're good and dry. And a simple paper towel will help dry them off real quick. But that's what I do to keep the container looking good. And you can see that little black ring is all gone. This is running nice and clean now. Water looks good. And I don't have to worry about my media. You can see it's not falling out of my container because of my rare earth magnets that I just dropped on the back. Thank you everyone for taking the time to watch this review video of the KT185 magnetic tumbler. A couple things to note. One thing that I was really happy with, as you guys know, my shop dog's always in the shop. And I have a couple ultrasonic cleaners that I don't use as often as I'd like to because they affect his hearing. The minute I turn those on, I can tell he doesn't like it. He gives me this kind of look and he bolts out of the room. So I try not to use them very much because he's in here a lot. The one great thing with this magnetic tumbler cleaner polisher is that it doesn't even bother him. He sleeps right through it running. So it's obviously not running like the ultrasonics do at a frequency that bothers his hearing. The other thing I wanted to tell you is I will put links in the description to where you can get it. Vevor has always given the best deal if you get it through their website. I will put the Amazon link too, but there's always a discount code that they give me. And if you do both and use their website and the code, you get the very best price of all. We've seen this with the 1x30s and everything else. So I will leave both those codes in there, as well as the other products that I picked up to use with this, like the different types of media and the burnishing fluid. Have a great day, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you're interested in it, that's where you can find this stuff. I'll talk to you soon.